Welcome, everybody, back to the John Frederick Show, Common Sense for the Commonwealth. This is Virginia's only statewide radio network. We're broadcasting from the nation's capital and blasting our way through Virginia. We are the adults in the room. Joining us now, Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, who is about to embark on a journey in Virginia where no governor has gone for nearly 3 decades, get a landmark transportation bill through the General Assembly. Governor McDonnell, great to have you with us.
Hey, John, good morning. It's nice to talk to your listeners all over the state. Congratulations on your expansion to a significant statewide network. This is great.
Well, thanks, Governor. We appreciate that. Let's go right to this compromise transportation package. I know you basically started this process by laying out what we thought was a very bold and compelling transportation plan back on the eve of when the General Assembly started. Now it has come back in the form of a compromise. Are you confident, Governor, that what has been worked out between the conferees, are you confident it's going to make its way through the state Senate?
John, first, I appreciate you bringing this topic up. It has been one that we've talked about now for almost 3 decades. And as everybody knows, this is a major quality of life economic development issue that has got to be resolved. We just had that report that came out. You saw that Northern Virginia is the most congested region of the country.
Yes.
Hampton Roads is 20th worst in the country, Richmond 60th worst, and just to give you an idea how much it costs, and it says drivers face 67 hours of delay and $1,400 per driver in wasted costs because of congestion. So it's really, it's a hidden tax. If we can't keep our infrastructure up, we reduce our quality of life and we cut down our ability to create jobs. So that's why I introduced the bill. That's why I told the General Assembly at the beginning of the session, don't leave without a transportation plan. No more excuses, delays, finger pointing. Let's get it done. So they have taken it seriously. There's been a lot of hard negotiation, and the Senate and House conferees came together and came out with a plan. I've also told everybody there's not everything in the plan everybody's going to like.
Right.
There's going to be things they like and not like. I mean, this plan will put over time nearly $400 million of general fund money, new and future general fund money into transportation, recognizing it's a core function of government. And it does something critically important that I said needed to be done. I wanted to kill the gas tax and replace it with a sales tax, because gas tax going down, sales tax will grow with economic activity. And they didn't eliminate it completely, but they created sort of a hybrid approach where they've actually reduced it a little over 6 cents a gallon and made it a percentage of sales as opposed to a flat 17 cents. So that is going to be good. They'll need a reduction in gas prices. So I think because of that and the fact that all the conferees agreed to it, I think that there's a very good chance today, they're scheduled to vote today, that the bill will actually pass.
So if it gets through the General Assembly, Governor, and it gets to your desk for signature, are there any key aspects of it as it stands now that you want to tweak or change?
John, it's hard to say honestly at this point. I've had a number of people contact me, but we are just I think just late last night is when we actually got the bill. We got
Right.
an outline of the report yesterday of what, or the day before, of what they actually agreed to, but those were just spreadsheets. As you know, it's kind of legislation you have to read very carefully. It goes through the Attorney General's office review. And so I always retain my ability as governor to make executive amendments that I think are prudent. There's always things I might have done differently, but that's the nature of a compromise. There's
Yes.
no way to be able to get this done. That's why nothing's been done for so long, is people can't agree. And we don't want to be like Washington, where all they do is fight and point fingers, and the president blames Congress. And that's not the way we do things in Virginia. We try to solve problems, and they have followed our direction, my direction, at the beginning of the session to get this thing done. Everybody's not going to like every component of it, but I tell you what, it does resolve the transportation maintenance and construction problems for the foreseeable future. It does cut down on the price of gasoline. It does create a growth mechanism for the future with a conversion to a sales tax that grows with the economy. And it provides some self-help that has been requested by Hampton Roads in Northern Virginia. They've asked for more resources to be able to take care of their unique problems, 1st and 20th in the country in traffic congestion. And so that's been provided as well. So I think on balance, I'm asking everybody, support the bill. and let's get this done, and let's take care of the people that have been asking for infrastructure improvements for a long time.
So it sounds, Governor, that given some of the details of it, you're very confident that when you get it on your desk, you are going to sign it into law, right?
Well, I will sign it. I can't say that there wouldn't be some amendments.
Right.
I mean, we haven't even fully digested the bill, John, but it's going to be one that certainly either before or after some amendments that may be necessary. There may be legal amendments the Attorney General recommends. It goes through a detailed process for 30 days, as does every bill that I get. So this is part of the normal process. But it's a bill that needs to be signed and approved at some point in the process. But I hear so many people say, "Look, you've been talking about this for so long. Let's get it done." And I can tell you, when I try to recruit jobs to Virginia, and John, we've done fairly well. We're down to 5.5% unemployment rate now. It's the lowest in 4 years. It's the lowest rate in the southeastern part of the United States. We're making progress, but we still have challenges when it comes to infrastructure. When people look at locating here, they look at quality of life. They look at ability to move goods to market. They ask about the road structure, and they see these kind of numbers and say, you guys got some real problems. We dropped this year from first to third in the CNBC business rankings, and it was almost solely because of our transportation infrastructure. So it's going to hurt the people of Virginia long term and the ability to create good jobs and get our people to work if this isn't resolved. So I commend the legislature. They've worked hard. They've taken made some tough calls and some tough votes. But here we are, a month and a half after the session started with a plan.
Without a doubt, we have to get this done. I certainly concur with that. I did do an article on it the other day. Let's get to the Attorney General running for governor, the presumptive Republican nominee. He came out the other day pretty solid, saying no, he was opposed to this. He's going to be the Republican nominee for governor, breaking with our current governor on fixing transportation. How does he reconcile that in a general election?
Well, I don't want to speak for the Attorney General. I know that transportation is important to him. He is from Fairfax County, so he clearly understands the need to fix the roads. He supported a different plan earlier in the session. It's one of those things, John, where you got to make a decision overall on a bill. It's either yes or no. I mean, there are things in here that I would not have written the way the conferees between the House and the Senate wrote those provisions. I would have done some things differently. But, you're forced in a final proposal. It's either yes or no.
Right.
And that's the tough part. I would say, the good news is that right now, you've got the Speaker of the House, the Majority Leader in the House and the Senate, that is Republicans, Majority Leader, the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and I would guess with the vote today, the majority of the legislators in the House and the Senate who will support this plan. And so it is the best Republican-led plan that they were able to come up with based on my original submission. And that's why I think that it will pass today or at the latest tomorrow.
We are continuing with Governor Bob McDonnell here on the John Frederick Show. Editorial Director Steve Ray with John this morning. Governor, a quick question before we move on to Medicare. Are you disappointed that Ken Cuccinelli did not step up and fully support your plan there?
Well, look, I'd like everybody to support the plan. He did say, I've talked to him a little bit. He read this statement. He said, "Look, the first statement was based on his initial reading in news reports, that he hadn't read the bill and he hadn't seen the spreadsheets." But that was his initial comment, I think, yesterday, because all we had yesterday was just spreadsheets, and we didn't have the details. So, he may look at it and decide he's got some other things that he would want to say after he's looked at the entire bill that is just now out. It's 100 pages, so I know they've been going through it, as have we. And so, anyway, the Attorney General wants to get this problem solved too, and I think he will continue to make transportation a priority when he's elected governor. But I do think that with the overwhelming support we have from the Republican leadership and the legislature and the Lieutenant Governor and others, I do think that that does help us as a plan that's Republican-led that can pass. It's based on some good economic principles.
Can we go, in the short time we have left with you, sir, to your solutions for Medicaid and the exchanges and so forth? Can you talk a little bit about that and where it stands at this point?
Yeah, so I think as everybody knows, there were two key decisions that had to be made by the governor and legislators around the country after the Supreme Court decision. One is, do you create a state or federal or hybrid exchange, and two, do you expand Medicaid? We have already notified the federal government we are not crafting a state-based exchange. We have opted for a federal exchange, although we've agreed to try to retain some of the plan management functions. So, frankly, we don't want the feds to goof that up. We want to be able to have not a one-size-fits-all from Washington on that score, but we want to be able to maintain the design functions for the plan. But as far as funding and building and operating and all that other stuff for the exchange, it's a federal exchange. On Medicaid, I've been very clear from the beginning that we cannot expand Medicaid without significant reforms. And frankly, President Obama said exactly the same thing in 2009. And so you got Medicaid spending that has gone from 5% to 21% of the total budget in the last 30 years. It's grown 1,600%. No taxpayer wants us to expand a program that's growing that much, that will bust the budget in the out years, that will add to the national debt, unless you get it under control and reform it. I think it's just a common sense position. And so I know that the budget conferees are working on some language between them on how to make sure reform occurs before there's any expansion consideration, and hopefully they'll work that out today.
And before we let you go this time, Governor, John and I want to congratulate you and the First Lady, Maureen McDonnell, on the engagement of your daughter, Janine. Already a proud dad, I'm sure, for her service in the Army Signal Corps. Congratulations again. We didn't have a chance to say that to you last time, but
thanks, Steve.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
And, of course, John and I will see you on March 12th as well as on the 16th for the 200th anniversary of the Executive Mansion. We're really looking forward to that event.
Oh, great. Well, we'll welcome you here. It's the People's House. We have the honor of living there for a couple of years, but it's the oldest continuously occupied governor's mansion in the country, and it is 200 years young. Moved in 1813 by Governor James Barber of Virginia. So it's an honor to be able to showcase that. I hope people will come by and see it.
Governor Bob McDonnell of Virginia, Republican, we want to thank you for your time today, and I also want to thank you for your undaunting leadership in trying to get a transportation compromise done in this state the first time in 3 decades. You have a great weekend, sir.
John, thank you very much. Great to be on with you. Congratulations on your expanding audience, and appreciate your good analysis on this transportation legislation. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.